Hey guys, and welcome to, well, the first episode of Studio C Presents that's we've put on in a few years. I'm going to try to do more and more of these, but this first one is just basically we're trying to just find out what we're doing here. And this, of course, is Studio C Presents Desktop Adventures because we are not in the studio today. So what's this show going to be about? It's a podcast about making podcasts, so of course I got to make the joke. Yo, dog, I heard you like podcasts, so we put a podcast in your podcast so you can listen to podcasts about making podcasts while you listen to your podcasts. I probably went a little too far, but you know, the way I used to do these, especially if you saw any of the What Do I Knows before they got taken down by YouTube, I used to use PowerPoint. Oh, 100%. And it's because it's pretty easy because you can throw together a presentation and then narrate it. But we're not using, well, we're using PowerPoint just kind of out of nostalgia today, but we're using it differently. I'm actually using OBS and I'm narrating over a presentation while I'm doing the presentation instead of actually building the presentation inside of PowerPoint. Yeah, we're using OBS. Let's see. This is what OBS looks like and what it looks like to me right now. Yep, infinite. So bring that back up. And we're using After Effects today. I'm going to teach you guys how to make an open. It's not going to be the best open in the world, but I need an open for this Studio C Presents thing. So we're going to make a short, dirty open. So let's get at it. And bear with me for a second because you know we kind of have to change gears here. Really don't want to save that, and let's see what this looks like. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we can start a new composition. 30 seconds is actually perfect for what we're doing here, so let's get it started. What I want to do is first let's make let's make just a background layer, and we'll use that green at some point in the future. In fact, I don't think I want to use it. In fact, I think I want to do something else entirely as far as my background goes. Let's see. I like that. So we'll do this royal blue background. And you know, well, let's make some other colors while we're at it, and we'll see what we do with those later. New solid, we'll make 4 of these, just different colors, and I want a brown. There we go. There's a brown one, and let's do, red's not going to look good, but let's see if we can find a more natural red to use. See if we can find something that falls within the natural scale of red. And I'm not really finding a lot here. Let's put us in Red Town. That looks better. Okay, a little more natural red, even though that's gonna look terrible on screen. And let's just get our last one in here. And of course, our last one, because it's going to have to cover everything else, is going to be our key. So we're going to make it just for Ever Loving Green. It says it's turquoise, but that is a green. That's got to be a green. Okay, at least it's going to be green enough for us to use in OBS. So the first thing we actually kind of need to do here is we need to make a text layer. And this will just say something like Studio. Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay. Yo, C Presents. Okay, and we're going to make that big enough. Now normally we would actually just increase font size, and actually that's probably a good idea here because we're dealing with direct text. So whenever you make text bigger, you have to increase font size. Whenever you make it smaller, you can use scale. But whenever we make it big, we have to make it big here, and that keeps us from getting rasterization effects. So let's move that to where we can kind of see it, even though that's not going to be part of our animation. Bring it down here, and yeah, we could make it a little bigger, couldn't we? But actually, let's not worry about that right now. And move it off screen. So we got to start animating. Let's start clicking stopwatches. That's all we really need? Yeah, that's kind of all we really need right now. So let's bring it 2 seconds in. That's going to be pretty slow, but we'll see what the animation looks like after we do it. Of course, that's not the way we're going, so let's bring it this way. Alrighty, and let's make another scale keyframe because it looks like we want to keep that scale. And right outside of 4, let's start lowering our scale a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so we can change that scale quite a bit too. Our position, let's move the position to where it's up here. And you know what, just because I like crazy effects, we're going to, whoopsie, we're going to just, we need to bring that down to like 32. And we also need to change the position just a little bit too. So let's see what that does. I don't like it. So we're going to change the position a little bit here. All right. All right, and what I did just there is I messed up and I deleted a scale keyframe that I actually really needed there. See what happens when I delete this position keyframe. Don't like it. No, but none of those really work. That's the cool thing about all of this is we can Control Z a lot of this back. There we go. Now what does this look like? What did it look like before I started messing with it? Perfect. Alright, so I did a lot of work just for basically nothing there, but that's okay. That is okay. And we're going to take this other empty text layer, and we're not going to have that one fly in. We're just going to have that one, it's just going to appear. So let's center that up. Actually, there's something here I do not like. We're going to make this just a little wider. There we go. Alright. So Desktop Adventures needs to appear. So we're just going to change the opacity and bring it in a little more than a second later. Alright. So let's see what this looks like. Alright, so what we're going to want to do here is we're going to just want to, do some playing. Let's move that to 0 and make it visible again. And so what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to make this cycle through some colors. I don't have any better effects right now, but for later shows we're actually going to have better effects. So let's get rid of that and just turn that to 0. Turn this to 0. Now we can start our animation. And because, you know, these cycles are there's going to be a lot of in between here, we can make them pretty long. So let's make that 100. And then set our keyframe here, close that. Make that 100. And we're back to red, aren't we? So okay. So it looks like we do need another solid here. Let's new solid. Actually, let's make this one black. And this is just going to pretty much darken up the background before we start taking our effect. And now there's another thing we could do. We could actually change the opacity on this text. However, I have something else I want to do here, and that's because we're actually going to be using this in OBS. So I put this green solid on top, and we're going to have just a really long 5-second fade out here. But what we're going to do is we're going to slowly bring that to 100%. And actually, we can make that a little shorter. And we would normally have like some music going on during this, and actually when we put this together here in a minute, it might just do just that. So it looks like we have, oh, just the bare bones of an open. So let's export this. And there's a couple of ways you can export. If you export to render queue, just be ready to have a lot. If you want to do lossless, I would just do it directly to render queue. But let's go to the media encoder queue. And this usually takes just a few minutes. But the benefit of this is we can, we can, it's a lot easier for us to work. So, ooh, looks like it's coming up. And it's going to take it just a minute, just because of what it is. And okay, there we go. So we need to change the output file. We H.264 match source high bit rate. That's all good. So what we need to do is we just need to do this save as. And hopefully everything just doesn't crash in the middle of it all. But it kind of looks like it's trying to do that right now. Alright. After that minor crash, I was able to bring it back in. So we need to change the output file for the project that we're doing. I usually just do desktop because that's what I'm working on. But you see, I do a lot of stuff on the desktop. So comp1 isn't really going to work for me. So we're just going to save it like that. And start our render. Now, oh yeah, render's only going to take like 30 seconds, so never mind. I was going to stop and take a break again, but here we go. And this is going to look a lot better once we have a better idea of what we're going to do here, but this is just an example of what we can do. Alright, it looks like that's done, so let's close out of everything. Not really. Alright, so we're opening up OBS because we're actually going to use this. So, you know what, let's open a camera. And yeah, we're just going to add it to this scene here. You can't see what I'm doing now. So let's go back so you can actually see what I'm doing now. So the way that we would actually import that would be, we would add a media source, I think. Here we are, media source. And we create new. We look for the file. I put it on the desktop, and I think I named it scp something. Yep. So we want that restart playback when it becomes active, yada yada yada. Then we need to, alright, so that looks okay. Now, and you see it's just coming up right there. So what we're going to want to do is we want to change the filters on this. So we would, and you can't see what I'm doing now, but I clicked on media source, doing filters, and under effects filters I'm choosing a chroma key. And it actually looks like it works, so let's do that and restart this. And the green was just to make it fade out. We could actually do some other stuff with that, but let's see if we can bring that in here. And I wonder if this is gonna, if the filters are gonna come over. All right. Okay, so it does fade out. We could actually use that for transparencies. And I think when we come back, we're gonna do some transparent stuff. But yeah, I think I made a video today. So welcome to Studio C Presents, and we're just gonna keep this going. We're gonna do something new every day. Next time around, we're gonna have a better open, and I think I'm gonna add some music to it next time. But anyway, have a wonderful day, guys.